Welcome to Ask Lift Logic, the video series where we're answering your questions. I'm Todd Smith and I'll be your host. Throughout this video series, we're going to cover things that we're experts in. So SEO, web design, web development, PPC, social media, photography, and videography. That's why we wanted to start Ask Lift Logic, to help serve out content to people who aren't just our clients. Because the more you guys know, the better decisions you can make. How important is code to page load speed? How important is just the question of page load speed in general? How do you know if your site is actually loading slow or if the Google test isn't that accurate? How do you know when you should be concerned?
Yeah. So obviously speed and performance is extremely important. People have short attention spans, right? So they're not going to sit there and wait for your site to load forever when they could go to one of your competitors' sites and do it quicker. So it's extremely important. And code is important. Obviously, if you have bad code running on your website, it might not process correctly, which would make them not be able to get through a checkout, so to speak. It could be using inefficient functions to slow the site down. You could have bloated software, a bunch of plugins installed that's slowing everything down, making too many requests to your server to slow it down. Some of it is not code related. Some of it can be, especially working in a content management system, how big are the images that you uploaded? Yeah. How much content do you have on a single page? Basically, anything that you're adding to your site is going to slow it down over time eventually. So there's a lot of different aspects to it. As for how can you test that, and I know Google obviously has what a lot of our clients use. They have their page speed tests, which it's very insightful. It's not always the end-all, be-all of judging the speed of your site. It is extremely helpful. Obviously, Google is the authority of the internet.
Should be their new tagline. Google, the authority of the internet.
Yeah. Which it is important, but it's not the end-all, be-all. They do, especially working in a WordPress world, some of the way they measure certain things doesn't necessarily. They might be pushing. They'll measure stuff for new features that might not be available for all browsers. For instance, they'll dock you for using a certain image format that's actually only available on Google Chrome. Mm-hmm. So they're basically docking anyone that's not using Chrome. So while there are a lot of important metrics on there, it's not the end-all, be-all.
Feel free to hashtag AskLL on social media, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. But keep in mind, there are no stupid questions, especially in the digital space.